31 weeds. That is what I counted along the brick path beside my raised beds last Wednesday evening. 31 dandelions and clumps of crabgrass, every one of them brown, crisp, and dead. The only thing I sprayed them with was a jug of plain white vinegar from the grocery store, about $3 a gallon. No weed killer from the garden centre, no chemicals I cannot pronounce, just the same vinegar sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. But 2 weeks earlier, I had sprayed that very same path with that very same jug, and I killed almost nothing. Same vinegar, same weeds, same guy holding the spray bottle. One thing was different, and that one thing is the reason half the folks who try vinegar swear by it, and the other half swear it is junk. So stay with me to number 10, because that is where I show you the one specific thing the afternoon sun does to a sprayed leaf. That single piece of plant science decides whether everything on this list works for you or wastes your Saturday, and it is also the reason the most popular vinegar trick on the internet quietly ruins good tomato plants. I'm Steve Calloway. I've been growing food in the same Midwest backyard for more than 20 years, running side-by-side test beds and writing down what actually happens. My first garden was an overfed jungle that gave me about a dozen sad tomatoes all summer. So I stopped guessing and started testing. My wife Karen keeps the harvest log, and these days our biggest problem is giving food away fast enough. Now, I have tested more kitchen remedies in this garden than I care to admit, and most of them went straight into the trash. White vinegar is one of the few that earned a permanent spot in my shed, but only for the right jobs, used the right way. So today I am walking you through the 10 uses that actually passed my testing, roughly in the order I used them, from the driveway cracks all the way to one very careful job right at the plants themselves. Keep a pencil handy, because a few of these come with numbers worth writing down. Number 1, the $3 weed killer. Every garden has a spot like my brick path, a place where dandelions and crabgrass shove up through every gap and crack. Here's what actually works. Plain white vinegar. The ordinary 5% kind from the grocery store poured straight into a cheap spray bottle. Nothing added. And I do mean the regular 5% jug, not the strong 20% stuff sold for weed control. Because that one can burn your skin and your eyes, and you do not need it. Pick a weed and soak it until every leaf is dripping. Leaves only, not the soil around it. Young dandelions, small crabgrass, and purslane collapse inside a day. The old-timers with deep taproots may need a second soaking a week later, because vinegar only kills what it touches, and a big root can push up fresh leaves. And one rule before you ever pull that trigger. This spray cannot tell a weed from a tomato, so it stays out on the paths, the patio, and the driveway, and it never goes into your vegetable beds. The reason why is the same reason my first attempt failed, and I am saving it for number 10, because once you hear it, you will never waste a drop of this stuff again. Now, everything I just showed you protects the garden from the outside, and the whole reason I bother is the food growing inside those beds, which brings me to the book I wrote. It is called Steve's 30-Day Maximum Yield Protocol, and it is the exact system I follow in this same backyard to roughly double what every plant produces. It is written out day by day, all 30 days, from soil preparation through harvest, and it works the same in raised beds, in-ground rows and containers, no extra square footage, no expensive equipment. It also gives you my Big 7 yield killers, the checklist I use to find whatever is holding a garden back. 115 pages in plain language, and right now it is $17, marked down from $47. And one healthy tomato plant will pay that back by August. Now, go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you're watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. Number 2, the rust bath for your garden tools. Go take a look at your pruning shears, or just picture them, orange around the pivot and sticky with dried sap. Stand them blade down overnight in a jar with an inch or two of white vinegar. In the morning, scrub the blades with a scouring pad and the rust wipes away like a coffee stain. Dry them well, then wipe the metal with a few drops of oil. Any household oil will do. A clean, sharp blade matters more than folks realize because a ragged cut crushes the stem, and a crushed stem is an open door for disease. A clean cut heals over in days. I give every pruner and trowel I own this bath twice a season, spring and fall, and my shears are older than some of my fruit trees. Number 3, bringing crusty clay pots back to life. Terracotta pots grow a white, chalky crust after a season or two. That crust is mineral salt left behind by hard water and old fertilizer, and it wicks moisture right out of the root ball. Mix 1 part white vinegar to 3 parts water in a tub. Let the pot soak for about an hour. The crust softens and a stiff brush takes it right off. Rinse them well and let them dry in the sun before you plant. I run my seed starting trays through the same tub every spring. A quick soak and a rinse, so last year's problems do not hitch a ride into this year's seedlings. Number 4, and this one is my favourite on the whole list because it is a test. Take half a cup of dry soil from a bed that has been disappointing you. Pour a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar right over it. Now watch. If that soil fizzes and bubbles like a glass of soda, you're standing on limey alkaline ground. That one little reaction explains an awful lot of sad gardens, because in strongly alkaline soil, plants like blueberries cannot pull up iron no matter how much fertilizer you throw at them. No fizz just means you're somewhere closer to neutral or acid, and this test cannot tell you which. It will not give you a number either. A $9 test kit from the garden centre does that. But for the cost of 2 tablespoons of vinegar, you get a 1-minute answer to the biggest question in gardening, which is, what kind of ground am I actually working with? Number 5, the 1-minute fly trap. If little gnats hover over your seed trays or fruit flies take over the kitchen every August when the tomatoes come in, take a small jar, pour in about 1 inch of white vinegar, stir in a spoonful of sugar, add 1 single drop of dish soap, and that drop matters, so do not skip it. Stretch plastic wrap over the top. Poke 3 or 4 small holes in it with a toothpick. Set the jar wherever the flies gather. The sugar and vinegar together smell like a ripe fruit, so they crawl in for a drink, and that drop of soap breaks the surface of the liquid, so instead of standing on it, they sink. Karen keeps one going by the fruit bowl from August until frost, and it stays busy. Not a pretty sight, but it works. Now, we are halfway through the list, and I have not forgotten that I owe you an answer about my failed spray day. We are getting close, and I will tell you this much now. It had nothing to do with the vinegar itself. Number 6, erasing the ant highway. Ants find your raised beds the same way every time by following a scent trail their scouts laid down first. Mix half vinegar and half water in a spray bottle. Spray it right along the trail, across the patio, up the sideboards of the bed, anywhere you watch them marching. Then wipe the hard surfaces down. You are not poisoning anybody with this one. You are erasing the roadmap, and a lost ant column has to start its search all over again somewhere else. Be straight with yourself about what it does. It will not touch the colony, and after a good rain, you will need to do it again. But for keeping ants from farming aphids on my pepper plants, a 2-minute spray down the boards has earned its keep. Number 7, the bird bath scrub. A bird bath wearing a coat of green algae is a bird bath the birds skip, and you want those birds. A pair of wrens working your garden will pick off cabbage worms and beetles all day long for free. Dump the old water out. Pour straight vinegar on the green film and scrub it with a stiff brush. Rinse it twice, good and thorough, then refill it with clean water. There is no harsh smell left behind and nothing to worry the birds. I scrub ours every couple of weeks in summer, and the chickadees are usually back before I have coiled up the hose. Number 8, the vinegar fence for rabbits. This one I tested the honest way because the rabbits were mowing my young bean plants down to the dirt. Soak a few old rags in white vinegar, tuck each rag into a tin can, set the cans around the edge of the garden, one every few feet along the side the rabbits come from. Rabbits work by nose, and that sharp smell reads as trouble. And the honest result was about 2 weeks of peace before the braver ones started testing me again. So now I refresh the rags every 10 days and after every rain. And the beans made it all the way to harvest. It is not a brick wall. It is a no trespassing sign, and most nights a sign is enough. 2 to go. And the last one is where I pay up on what I promised you. Number 9, making the bouquet last If you grow zinnias or dahlias for the kitchen table, try this the next time you cut a jarful. To 1 quart of water, add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar and 2 tablespoons of sugar. That is 2 tablespoons of each to 1 quart. Stir it and set your stems in like always. The sugar feeds the cut stems, and the vinegar keeps the water from turning into that cloudy soup that plugs them up. I ran this against plain water last July, 2 jars of zinnias from the same bed, side by side on the same counter. The plain jar drooped on day 5. The vinegar jar gave Karen 3 more good days. 3 extra days for pennies is a trade I will take every single time. And that brings us to number 10. The only time vinegar ever gets poured at a living plant in my garden on purpose. If your tap water is hard and the white crust on your tea kettle will tell you, then every gallon you pour is carrying a little lime with it. And year after year, that lime nudges your soil toward alkaline. Your blueberries, azaleas, and hydrangeas feel it first. The leaves go pale yellow while the veins stay green, and that is the plant telling you it cannot reach the iron locked up in limey soil. So for those acid-loving plants only, I add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar to each gallon in the watering can. 1 tablespoon per gallon, that is all, stirred in before I pour. At that strength, it simply cancels out the lime riding along in the water, so your watering stops working against those plants week after week. Understand what it is not. It is not plant food, and it will not turn alkaline ground acid. That job belongs to sulfur and a proper soil test. It is a small correction, and small corrections, repeated, are how a garden gets ahead. And now the part I promised you at the start, the reason my first weed spray failed and my second one left 31 weeds dead on the path. White vinegar kills a weed by wrecking its raincoat. Every leaf on every plant wears a thin coat of wax, and that wax is what holds the plant's water in. Vinegar strips that wax and breaks the surface cells wide open, and from that moment on, the leaf is leaking. But a leak only kills the plant if something is pulling the water out. That something is the sun. My second spray went down at 2 in the afternoon on a hot, dry, cloudless day, and by supper, the sun had pulled those weeds crisp, faster than the roots could push water back up. My first spray went down on a cool, damp Saturday morning. The dew watered my vinegar down. The clouds never asked those leaves for a single drop. And within a week, the weeds had patched their wax and moved on with their lives. Same jug, same path, and the sun made one a success and one a wasted morning. And it is the exact same reason you never pour straight vinegar over a tomato plant, the way you may have seen in pictures, a whole gallon glugging out over a plant loaded with red fruit. That tomato leaf wears the same wax raincoat the dandelion does. The vinegar cannot tell them apart, and the afternoon sun cannot either. And there is nothing in that jug a plant can eat. No nitrogen, no phosphorus, nothing at all. It is a drying agent, not a dinner. So spray your paths on the hottest, driest, sunniest afternoon of the week. Keep it well away from anything you love, and the $3 jug will earn its spot in your shed for good. The garden doesn't lie. It rewards the system, not the guesswork. And that is exactly the kind of thing the whole protocol is built on, tested, cheap, and written out day by day so you can just follow along. Steve's 30-day maximum yield protocol takes more than 20 years of side-by-side testing and lays it out one day at a time, all 30 days from soil preparation through harvest, feeding for fruit instead of foliage, and the strategic pruning that feels wrong but multiplies production. It is $17 right now, marked down from $47. And if it puts 1 extra basket of tomatoes on your counter this season, it has paid for itself twice over. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you're watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So there it is, 10 honest jobs for a $3 jug. From the driveway cracks to the blueberry patch, and the one rule that makes them all work. Let the sun do the killing and keep the vinegar off everything you love. Tell me your zone and your biggest garden frustration right now. I read every single one. Next time, I'm going to show you why I pinch the very first flowers off every pepper plant I grow, and how that one small snip took my plants from 8 peppers apiece to more than 20 by the end of August. Get out there and get your hands dirty, and I'll see you in the garden.